Hello everyone. So sorry for not making a video for a little while. I'm just in the midst of finals and I think we all know how crazy that can be. So I've been kind of just trying to deal with that. I've gone back home, as I'm sure you can see from the change in backdrop and everything. So yeah, there's been a lot of changes. I'm just gonna make a pretty short video today just to get something out there for you guys so you can watch it, stay entertained, stay interested, and maybe learn a little bit about me. So, as I've said in previous videos, I have a number of different artifacts and old items that I collect. And since I'm finally home, I can probably show you a couple of them. And some of the bigger ones that I want to investigate a little bit more thoroughly, um, I'm gonna wait until finals are over to be able to make like a fuller video to do those items justice, but I figured a few of the smaller ones I can break down here today and maybe show a couple of interesting things to you guys. Okay, so I've unfortunately realized that a lot of the objects I want to show you guys, like coins and stuff, um, the definition on this camera isn't the best, and so they don't really show up that clearly. So I'm gonna have to wait until I find or buy a better camera to show some of those things. But there are a couple of things here that show just fine. There are also a couple of things that are labeled, and so I can probably show those at least. So the first thing to show you guys today is a $5 bill from the Confederate States of America. So this is um, about 160 years old because it came from the time of the Civil War. And it says on the front there, Richmond. You probably can't make it out, but so it's from Virginia and it's worth $5. During that time period, it's worth a lot more now. Here's another Civil War era bill. It's a $5 bill from Louisiana. Um, it's a little bit different, and I don't know who of you may know this, but like in the Confederate States of America during the time of the Civil War, there wasn't a national exchange rate, and so every state had its own currency and it was valued at different amounts in different states. And so, because of this, it caused a lot of economic turmoil in the Confederate States because there were people who were rich in some states and poor in other states, and vice versa. And they could never agree on an exchange rate. And so, it really stifled travel and buying things from different regions and stuff. And it kind of kneecapped the economy of the Confederate States. Here is a 1941 coin from Nazi Germany. If the definition was a little bit better, you'd be able to see. So there's the eagle, and then at the bottom of the coin is the 1941, and then in that little circle underneath the eagle is a swastika, obviously. And this is worth 10 of the equivalent of cents in Nazi Germany. Um, yeah, this is pretty interesting. It's the only thing from World War II era that I own, and I'm really into like World War II history and stuff, so I definitely want to get more in that category. But yeah, it's a really interesting piece, and it's the only World War II item that I have in my collection at this moment. So Something you guys might not know about me, I'm currently studying both Russian and Japanese, and as such, I have a couple of pieces from Japan in my collection. I haven't started studying Russian until more recently, and so I don't think I have any Russian things in my collection, but here is a coin from Japan. It's from 1792. Now, if you guys can see, it's got a big square cut out in the middle, and that's actually very common among Asian coins. They would do that because they would actually take strings and string it through the holes in the middle of the coins, and it made it a lot easier to pay for things that were more expensive. They'd just hand the vendor a huge string of coins, and they would consider it paid for. So the older that coins get, the more complicated the dating process is. And so you'll usually see a range of years that the coin could be from, or you'll see like a nice round number, and that's just kind of like an estimate. And it's basically saying it's somewhere around this time period, but since it's so old, we have no way of knowing. And so with this coin, it's a coin from the Byzantine Empire, and it came from any time between 602 and 610 AD. And the reason that I've always thought that coin is interesting is because it's really big and it's really flat, and that's because of the European process of making coins. They would mint coins instead of casting coins like a lot of Asian cultures would use, which is where they take like a flat piece of metal and then they drop a weight on it to press it into the desired shape. And this typically would make a lot rougher coins and coins that didn't last as long. And so that's why a lot of coins from European cultures are usually more spread out like that, and the features are a little bit less defined. Now, two of the pieces that I was going to show you guys that I can't just because they don't show up very well. One is an 1864 2-cent piece from America during the Civil War era, and another one was a Chinese coin. I'm not sure the year. So the 2-cent piece obviously is cool because it's not a common denomination for coins, and it obviously doesn't exist in America anymore. And it's in really, really good condition. And the Chinese coin I thought was interesting because I got it at this 4th of July festival that happens, or well, used to happen every year around where I live, and I got it for $2, but the value of it is about 400 if it's cleaned up well, and it's like I got it for a steal, and I think it's amazing that I was able to find it in such an unlikely situation. And the last piece I wanted to show you guys is by far the oldest coin that I have in my collection, and in my opinion it's one of the coolest things I have in my collection. It's a coin from Carthage from 300 BC. And you can see on one side there's a very defined shape of a horse, and on the other side it's some sort of ruler. Like I said before, 300 BC is an estimate, but it's well over 2,000 years old. And I just think that's amazing that it's lasted for so long. And I'm just like, I love having little pieces of history that are mine, and I just think it's so cool and it's so valuable to treasure these pieces of history. And I have plenty more, but that's just a couple for today. So I'll talk to you guys again soon, probably after finals are done. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.